All right, welcome everybody to the Based on Characters podcast. My name is Ray, and I'm going to have a guest that's going to help people who want to get into certain fields in acting and also into narration of books and audiobooks and things of that sort. Definitely, my name is Ray, and this is going to be a wonderful, informative, and direct to you podcast. So, here's our guest right now. He goes by the name of, and I point to you, and here we go. All right. Do you mind giving your name and your background and everything?
Hey there, everyone. My name is Angelo Tate, and I am an actor, writer, and audiobook narrator.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on and joining us here. We got a little music in the background, a little movie music. Since you're an actor, we're going to definitely jump into movies and things of that sort. Now, this particular podcast here that's on YouTube only is called Based on Characters. So, what I do on every single interview that I have, we're going to talk about some of your favorite characters, inspirations from characters that we've seen in movies and television. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to drop a couple things on you here. First question I have for you here is name a character from a movie or a TV show that inspires you to do what you're doing right now.
Ooh, okay. From a movie or TV show. Um, well, when I think of TV, the very first character that pops into my mind is the character Earn from the TV show Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right, for those who don't know who that character is, can you give our audience a small description?
Sure. So Earn is a Princeton dropout that is living in Atlanta, and he hasn't made the best choices. He actually became poor, and what he does is he takes advantage of his up and coming cousin's rap career. So
Okay.
it's about him overcoming the adversity of not only of himself and his environment, but some of his internal struggles to become successful.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. And for those who don't know, who are looking to get into the acting field, definitely look up your characters because your characters
Mhm.
that you can create and you can boost them up is going to help you get roles. So when you get a role like that character that you just described there or something
Mhm.
similar, how do you get into the mental state of that character if someone gave you a definitely a character like him?
So it's a pretty extensive process for me. What I typically do is say when I'm getting an audition piece or even when I've booked a role, what I attempt to do is do script analysis from the get go.
Okay.
I read through the script. I might read it a second time. And then what I do is I try to identify emotions that my character is going through, and then I look at those emotions and I think about what causes me to feel those emotions so that when it comes time to perform, I'm ready to access the emotions that the character has. And that's just a small snippet of what I do, but that in general is what I do when it comes to getting into character. I try to see how um, the character thinks, what he or she, depending on the type of show, feels, and then I identify with that.
Okay, so basically what you do is you take on the character as it is your own and you mold that character to the best of your ability, but you become that character, right?
Yes, some people will debate with you about becoming the character or using part of yourself to become a character, but for all intents and purposes for this, yes, it is safe to say that I do try to become the character. But I do use it. I do use my own experiences to try to do that.
Okay, perfect. Now I want to get into a couple other things too, like a character that you portray. Can you give the audience a character that you took upon? He's like, I want to do this character. You got the role, and how you got into the mental space to be able to portray that character to the audience that you were, wanting to perform to.
Sure, I would love to talk about it. Um, so back in 2019, it was right around early spring of 2019. I got cast in a play that a mentor of mine wrote, um, based on New Orleans culture called Creole.
Mm,
And he casted me for the role of Junior. Um, Junior is a character in the play that, spoiler alert,
okay.
he is going through multiple things, but one of the things that he goes through is he has this love interest, that he has had somewhat of a hard time telling how he feels to this particular character, that he's in love with. But due to a circumstance in the play, he actually becomes, her hero.
Mm,
And for that particular scene, um, what I tried to do to get into the headspace of that character and for what I consider like my character's climax is I try to think about, um, I'll say anger. For this particular climax, my character gets extremely angry, and I'm going to get a little bit personal here with you, but
do that.
um, this particular character is showing a great deal of anger, and what he actually does in the play is he saves his love's interest from being raped.
Okay.
Um, so what I thought about when doing that scene and getting into that character is what in my life has made me extremely angry. And what came to mind at that particular time was actually, my mom. I remember back in, let me see, what year was that? It was 2013. It was sometime after I graduated college. My mother was in the process of buying a house, and she had bought this house, but her house that she was moving out of did not sell immediately like her realtor told her. I pretty much felt like, the realtor kind of took advantage of her, kind of lied to her. And also, the person that was living in the house at the time, also did not do the renovations like he said he would. And I'll never forget the day that we were moving out of that house. My mom cried. It was almost beyond hurt. It was as if she not only had this hurt and pain, but she had like this deep disappointment. And I'll never forget, it affected me so much to where, it kind of made me angry. It made me boiling angry, to see a loved one, especially your mom. It's
Right.
you know, um, to see the lady that gave you birth be so in pain really got to me. And so what I did was I held on to that, at least mentally, like not emotionally, because that can be kind of damaging. But I held on to that thought, and I remember what made me angry. So what I tried to do was, since that character, Junior, was angry in that moment where he was about to save his love interest from being raped, I thought about what made my mom cry that particular day, and it worked really well. Even the director, behind the scenes was kind of like, "Oh man, like I didn't expect that from Angelo." So yeah, that's how I got into, character for that particular scene.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, I'm gonna give you a break right real quick here, and I'm gonna talk about a character that I love. Now, all of us. at least I think most of us have heard of Raisin in the Sun.
Mhm.
And obviously, Sidney Poitier portrayed Walter Lee Younger. I think that's what his name was. And it really, when I listened to him and his dialogue, I didn't think about the film as a play or someone actually just acting for fun. I really felt the character. As he had a family. He had his mother live with him. He was a struggling worker that wanted more. I think his son was like sleeping on the couch, and it really it showed you a mold of the black family at that time, what a black family had to do in the circumstances that they lived in, and especially for Walter Lee, because he was really like his eyes and his mind was here, like outside of this place, because he wanted more, but the world wasn't allowing that. And what I got from Sidney Poitier, and this is something from all actors, no matter male or female, if you can get into the soul of the character, you got it.
Exactly.
It's not the script, it's not the lines, it's not the blocking, it's the soul of the character, because a lot of them ad lib, through certain parts, and they just take upon this is so good we can't edit this. I know the character was supposed to walk down this hallway, but as this particular character was, coming in from a work and he was just distraught by what he had to deal with and the lack of money and the resources and the world pushing down on him, he did what his soul told him to do. So I want to know, have you ever had a blackout moment on stage in front of a camera, reading a script where you had a character that you just really felt like the soul of that character attached to my soul and we became one?
Ooh, that's interesting. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I have. Let's see. Wow, that's deep. That's really good. Um, I think it's safe to say with Junior, I actually was able to do that. I was able to, I guess, mirror what the not only what the character was and is, but kind of mirror what I went through the character, if that makes
Okay,
sense. Yeah.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Okay, character here, and let's look at a character that you saw on film, maybe a movie or maybe a TV show, that what I just described, when you, let's say the moment you saw that particular actor or actress get that character soul, do you have an example of that you saw maybe on screen like that?
Yes. I was watching the movie X-Men Days of Futures Past,
Mm,
and it was I forgot their names, but it's the actors that played the young version and the older version of Professor X. Um,
okay, okay.
and I'll explain why it touched me so much. Um, so in and spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, um, these characters, they're going through time and they're trying to prevent things from happening in the future by going to the past. And the older version of Professor X went back to the past and saw his younger self. And there was a moment in the film where both of them were able to talk to each other and they were
Hmm.
able to
Hmm.
kind of reconcile things with each other within themselves.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and it was really neat because the older version of Professor X was talking to the younger version of himself, and he said, listen, I know this gets hard, I know this gets difficult, but I want to encourage you to stay the course. And you're going to go through pain, you're going to go through this, you're going to go through that, but um, I want you to still stay encouraged because of the amount of people you're going to have an impact on. And if you think of that literally, it's as if you're encouraging yourself, you know?
Okay.
Um, Even though it's kind of different because, they're the same character in two different places in time, I
Okay.
think we can learn from that because I think in this life we're going to go through things that are extremely difficult, you know. And even if you don't, you have moments of difficulty, so you can learn to encourage yourself to stay the course, don't give up, continue forward in what your calling is or what you're passionate about. And if you also look at it from the other side, from the younger version, he was able to see like a preview of himself. You know,
Right.
um, he
Okay.
was able to see kind of like where he's going. And I know that in this life, you can't always literally see the path ahead of you, and figuratively too. But
Hmm.
if you get in your mind like a mental image, or if you can see your vision, then you can go forward towards that and become what you see in your heart and your mind. Um,
Wow. Okay.
and yeah,
Wow.
and I think that both of the actors portrayed that really well. And it was a moment that really spoke to me, not just because of the acting, but because of the message that it was saying. If that makes sense.
It really drew in my head. I can see it all in my head how you described it. Very well said.
Mhm.
Very well
Yeah.
said.
Thank you.
Just another thing. It just hit me, and I was thinking of a moment in film recently that I loved that everybody kind of knows. It was Viola Davis, and in Fences she played Rose Maxon, and everybody remembers the line where the snot was running down her nose and all that. That's not
Mhm.
fake. That's not staged. That wasn't part of the script. That was real.
Mhm.
And when I remember, and I think Denzel, which was the lead actor and the director, I think he said that she had to do that line or that segment 21 times. So my question
Wow.
is for yeah, I think I remember that number 21, but have you ever had like I guess how many times did a director ever say, "Okay, again," and how long was that? And how did that make you feel when you was trying to get the character and they was like, "Okay, again," if that ever happened to you?
Let's see. That did happen to me actually.
Okay.
Um, this was kind of younger in my like younger acting years. I was, I believe, 17 at the time.
Mm,
And I was training with a excuse me. I was doing a show with some people around my age with a program called Salama Urban Ministries. I'm they normally they would normally put on a show during summer with all the students, and
mm-hmm,
I remember I wrote about being a nerd. I wrote this really long monologue, and I would perform it, and I thought I would have it, but then the director would be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool and all, but I want you to try it this way." And at the time, it really got me frustrated because I thought, I kind of went in and I thought I had it. Like, I thought to myself, like, oh, I studied the script, I studied my monologue, I wrote it, it was truthful to who I am. Um, and I'm showing up for rehearsal. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So, like, why is it I'm kind of having to go through this? and now that I'm older and more mature, I can tell you that even though it was like frustrating in that moment, what she was doing was she was making me better because
Hmm.
I had to consider it in different ways. I had to continue to rehearse it. I had to continue to get it deeper, within me. So she was actually, I guess, pruning me of what didn't need to be there,
I like
and
that. I like that.
yeah, thank you, and got it to where it needed to be. So,
Okay.
um, and I can imagine with Viola Davis that, you know, it can probably feel like that, but there are some people out there who actually do the repetition and it gets you into a deeper emotional state, you know.
Mm.
Uh, um, Meisner technique. Yeah. Meisner believed in repetition. So yeah,
Okay.
um, that can be really good, really powerful.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So we're going to make a little segue here, and we're going to roll right into another interest of yours that you can use your acting with and your
Mhm.
experience. And it looks like you're getting into the avenue of book narration, becoming an audiobook narrator.
Yes.
So tell me how you got into it, or how you getting into that business, and just tell me a little bit about that.
So when I first got into it, it started with a voiceover audition. There was an agency in Nashville that I was a part of, and they just kind of randomly sent me a voiceover audition. I was like, "Huh, I've never done this before," um, and I did a little bit of research and was able to, find that I needed like certain equipment to do this. So I had a friend that owed me some money that did some audio stuff, and I said to his wife like, "Hey, I know you owe me some money. How about you just let me keep this mic, and let's just call it even?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, great. And, it's money. I don't have to pay you, so great." And I did the voiceover auditions, and nothing really came of it. It was a good experience, but I really didn't book anything that way. Um, and after a while, I didn't get any more voiceover auditions, but I kept the equipment.
Right.
Fast forward a number of years, and I end up hanging out with an actress here in Nashville named Shantae Kirkwood. She's excellent, excellent human
Okay.
being, excellent actress. Um, and she and I were talking, and she said to me, "Hey, why don't you apply for this program?" Um, and to get a grant and to um, learn how to do audiobook narration. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I remember it was getting close to the due date, and I was like, well, let me hurry up. Like I told her I was going to do this. Like, yeah. So um, I sent the audition in. And I actually got it, and I was kind of surprised because I applied last minute, um, but I was able to get it. So I was surprised, and I was like, "Okay, this is awesome." I'm gonna learn how to do this, and it's called the Great Audiobook Adventure. It's
Mm.
with a lady named Elise Arnsalt, and I hope I didn't mispronounce her name. I think she's the one who created the program, or is like the person in head of the program. Um, and I just followed along in the online course. And in the course, they teach you about like the equipment you need to get, and do how to read and how to navigate the audiobook space. And
Okay.
so
Hmm.
that's how I've been getting into it.
Well, since you're getting into it, I'm gonna get into a couple things about audiobooks and see if you can answer these for me.
Okay.
First thing, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna go in easy first. What's a book, popular book that most people probably know that you would love to narrate one day?
Let's see. I would say anything Star Wars related. I'm a big
Mm,
Star Wars nerd. Um, and also, I think something fantasy wise, like Game of Thrones or even House of the Dragon, would be great to narrate one day.
okay, I like that. All right, I can see you doing that too. I can really see you doing so. Not a problem because
Thanks.
your voice. I know you can switch your voice up and kind of get into those characters. No problem.
Mhm.
Second question I got for
Thanks.
you here is so who would you like to co-narrate with? If a popular actor you like, this is somebody I want to co-narrate with.
So when you were asking me, the first person that popped up in my head was Donald Glover. Um,
All
he's
from
my
AT. Okay.
yeah, he's my idol. I want to be just like him. And he did the voice of Spider-Man in one of the Spider-Man animated series that came out, I think, in the mid 2010s. Um, so anything like with him, I think would be pretty awesome
Okay. All right. Next one. Would you play a villain in an audiobook?
for sure.
Okay.
Uh, for sure. What I've recognized about villains in almost any story is that it's really fun to play, at least for me. And I think the reason why is because I've been in my life labeled like as a nice guy or, nice and gentle. So to kind of switch it up on people and to become like sinister or to become, demented or evil, I think is kind of fun actually. So,
Okay. Well, I like that because you don't want to get lumped into one role, especially when you're starting out. You want to show your versatility,
right.
and audiobooks will be a good opportunity to do that. And I
Mhm.
really think that you can excel because I think you can go one way or the other way with a
Thank
particular
you.
character. I really do.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
No, it's the truth, and you know, I think other people when they see this particular video, they should be able to say, "Yeah, I can do that too," or figure out ways how to do that. So,
Mhm.
is there an audiobook that you like not an audiobook, maybe a story that you feel like will be just completely difficult that you to be able to do?
Ooh. Good question. I think anything that's probably I'm gonna say like if there are any DC audiobooks out there, I think
Mhm.
anything super dark, kind of like the
Oh,
Joker,
okay,
mhm, or maybe anything like the Riddler. I think it would be fun, but I think it would be challenging just because of how dark and gritty some of those stories can get.
okay, all right. Never really thought about that part of it, but that's a great
Mhm.
reply to that.
Thanks.
Um, so if you had an opportunity, and that's my phone ringing here, so but if you had an opportunity to be able to create your own audiobook, which it looks like you're doing, and we'll get into that a little bit. I mean, what would your envision be for the audiobook that you want to create, your first one? That what would you like the story to be kind of like?
Um, well, you kind of got me thinking in different directions.
Hmm.
I guess I'll just tell you
I did that
which
on purpose
direction.
too. Yeah.
Look at you.
Uh-huh.
Um, so when you asked me that, the first one I thought would be like an autobiography, just kind of
Mm,
telling my life on how things have just gone in my life and how you can overcome difficulties. I think that would be one thing. But also, I think it would be great to do something uh something related to my love story.
Okay.
So I'm a newlywed. I've been married for almost a year now, and my wife and I have a really interesting love story. Um, it took us, even though, I'm in my early 30s,
Hmm.
and I've known Rachel for quite a while. Um, it took us over 10 years to get to where we're at now. Um, there were times where didn't think I was going to find love. I thought that, I was like too nerdy, or, um, wasn't like, didn't have the money to, actually like have a really good significant other. But my wife was like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you why you're wrong."
Oh,
so
okay.
so yeah so yeah so um I think something involving my love story, I think, would be great in any type of form, whether it be my love story in like a fantasy, or my love story like in a murder mystery, or maybe just plain nonfiction. I think it would
Okay.
be great to tell that. Um and then, like I said a second ago, like I'm a big nerd, so I think something sci-fi or like spy mystery would be great too. So,
Oh, spy mystery. I like that
yeah,
because,
I've been. Oh, sorry.
like, you're chill like spy mystery, like a Sherlock Holmes type of book, or something a little deeper than that.
Something like that. Maybe something James Bond like, but without
Oh,
all the flash. You
yeah.
know,
Okay.
like, don't get me wrong, James Bond is great. I grew up on James Bond, but like
Yeah, that's one of
spy
my favorite
stuff
things.
isn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. James Bond is great, but he's not like the way that he's depicted. It's not real spy stuff.
Right. It's a little Hollywoodish. I get that.
Yeah.
But there was a author by the name of, I can't think his name right now, but he's the one that wrote The Spy That Came from the Cold. And I feel like his spy books, if you ever read John Le Carre, I think is his name, he really gets in the essence of a actual spy and the espionage, and I really like what he does. So that's
What
for
was it called
everybody.
again?
John Le Carre, and he has good
Okay.
audiobooks too. I think he even
John Le
done some of
Carre.
his own audiobooks. So that's very interesting. I just thought about that. What do you feel about authors creating their own audiobook? Do you think that's something that's going to get more popular, or you feel like actors really need to portray, audiobooks because they really help out the author and let them write, have the author, have the actor actually act it out. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, because of how you asked that, you gave me split thoughts again.
Okay.
So I think that authors do need to do their own audiobooks.
Mm.
I don't think they have to. I think, of course, I have a choice in the matter. Um, so with me getting in this space, yes, I think they should, because um, that's already happening with print already. You have people who are self-published, and they do it probably through Amazon, or maybe they get it done locally. Um, so, in my personal opinion, if they're already putting out their own books, the next step, if they have the equipment and they're willing to put in the work, is to record their own audiobooks too. Um, However, I think that, on the flip side, I think actors should be ready to read other people's audiobooks, because one, it's work for them. Two, it gives
Mhm.
them good practice. And then three, you might enhance the text, or put it in a form that might be more consumable for the consumer,
Mhm.
hiring an actor to read an audiobook, you know.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And So I got one more audio question for you here.
Hmm.
Um, so you're creating your own, your own way into the audiobook narration. Can you kind of tell people how you're actually taking that first couple steps to being an audiobook narrator?
Um, there, I'm gonna, yeah, definitely answer that. Um, there is a webinar that I took this past weekend. Everybody look into her. Her name is Heidi Dean. Um, she did a free webinar on social media for actors, and she gave some really great tips, and I applied it. And what I did was I posted on social media some of the equipment, my new but humble setup, to begin getting further into that space. And it's actually worked really well. So I've began a social media presence, um, and that's how I'm beginning to get into the space. Um, and actually, what has happened so far, even though I'm in the very beginning of this journey, when I posted it, a few people in my hometown, here in Nashville, actually reached out to me, said, "Hey, like, can you do this? Can you do this?" Like, yeah, like for sure. So that's how I'm beginning. I'm beginning through social media, and it's having so far a local effect.
Okay.
And what I'm hoping is that as I do this more, as I get more practice, record more samples, do more networking, that um, the reach for that expands even further and to get deeper into the space and to reach more people.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So I got one other question here I want to get
Hmm.
into, and then we're gonna get into a little rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. So if you have a person that's young or old and they want to start becoming an actor, no matter their age, what do you think a couple of first steps they should do to try to really get their feet wet before they really try to pursue being an actor?
I am so glad that you asked me this question, because I have a passion for this. Um, I would say the very first steps that you should take if you want to become an actor is to join some community theater,
Mm,
take some acting classes,
hmm.
or even get into an improv group. And
Okay.
I think that everyone should do at least one of those things, but I think doing a combination of those things really helps you because you get your feet wet, you learn what it means to have to study lines, to adhere to a schedule, to um, move, to do movement. And I think it gets you in a mindset of knowing what to do and sort of how to do it.
Mm,
Um, if you do community theater or educational theater too, um, you won't necessarily know how to act just from doing that alone. And I think that's why acting classes are so important because you learn techniques, but you'll at least kind of begin to figure out what it means to act,
okay.
what it means to be on stage, what it means to be aware of spacing, knowing your cues, knowing the blocking, things of that nature. So yeah, I would say begin there, um,
Perfect.
and go forward. Um, and one other thing I want to add to is if you look at this and you decide you really want to do it, get in your mind to do it and then actually do it. Like don't just sit on the couch. Don't just look at YouTube videos. Don't just get inspired by the things that you see, but take action. And who knows, maybe one day you could be on screen and somebody could be looking at you as an example to take action. So
Oh, hey, perfectly well said. And see, I like to have real people because a lot of people get on here and they say they're experts and they know what to say to people to convince them to follow their channel, saying, "Oh, this is how you be an actor. Step one, look at movies. Step two, like I'm reading something, and trying to get people to
Mhm.
sell people on the fact. I don't think that's the way to do it at all. You give the real example. That's why I wanted you on there because you tell it how it is from the ground up, from just really saying one day, boom, I think I want to act. Then you giving them the steps, and I like that. I really appreciate you answering it just like you did.
No problem. Yeah. You got to put in the work, and I think that's with anything that you do. Um, I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think watching movies has its place because um, I think it was, I forgot the artist's name, David Bowie. He said, steal, but steal, like, I guess, like, for your craft. But
Mhm.
so I think there is a place in, like, watching other actors, but you can't just watch. Like, you actually have to get up and do. And so uh, I had, a mom that was super hardworking, and she definitely believed in getting off your butt. So,
Mhm.
um, that's something I want to pass on to other people. Like, you can't just sit on your couch. Like, you got to go do. So,
You got to do it. There's nothing to it but to do it.
yeah.
All right. So we're going to do it just like this here. Rapid fire. You ready?
Hmm.
All right. So we're going to stay in the acting realm as we do here. So first question here is favorite actor.
Favorite actor. Uh, Man, that's tough. Um, I'm gonna probably have to go with Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Perfect. Favorite
Hmm.
actress.
Ooh. Um, Favorite actress. There's so many good ones. Do I have to pick just one?
Just
Uh,
one.
um, Man, I'm gonna have to go with what's her name? From Saturday Night Live. Um,
Mm.
Dang, I can't remember her name. Um, Dang, I'm blanking. I can't
We can
remember that
come back
woman's
to that.
name.
We can come
Yeah,
back
let's come
to it.
back. Let's come back.
All right. All right. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie? Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Wow. Okay. I
Yes,
wouldn't think
and
of that.
actually,
Mm.
um, Samuel Jackson, and actually, I'm gonna change my answer. Samuel Jackson, actually, not
Okay.
Donald Glover. Samuel
Okay.
Jackson.
Go Sammy
Um,
J. All right.
yeah. So with Pulp Fiction, it's kind of personal for me. I love his monologue, the Ezekiel 25:17 monologue,
Yes. Yes.
and I've used that in auditions, and I've actually booked some stuff doing that, and
Perfect.
then it's uniquely shot. Um, but it's mainly because of Samuel Jackson,
Okay. Okay.
and the writing for that movie. So yeah.
All right. Well, okay. We're gonna continue rapid fire.
Okay.
Uh, most overrated actor.
Ooh, most overrated. Let's see.
I know who mine is.
I'm gonna upset some people. I'm gonna upset some people.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Okay. I gotta slow you down. Okay. Why?
The thing with Denzel, don't get me wrong, he's great and I respect him, I look up to him, but like he tends to play characters that are kind of similar.
Mm.
And also he doesn't really do any comedy. I think some of the really good people out there can
Yeah.
do a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. Well,
It
good.
hurts me too. It
I
hurts me
know.
too.
Okay. Mine's Tracy Ellis Ross. Ross.
What? I love her in Blackish though. Like, well, what makes you say that?
I really don't think she's a level actress, but people treat her like one. She really hasn't stood out and taken that leap like a um trying to think of somebody. even like not Kimberly Elise. What's the other one that played in 227 and all the stuff? She's taking that leap. Um, what's her name? She's in a lot of stuff. I mean, a whole lot of when she was since we were a kid. Well, anyway, this is not
Um,
about me. I'll get to, but yeah, what? Yeah, the one that was dating Malcolm Jamal Warner at one time, or they was engaged. You know, what was her
Lisa
name?
Bonet.
No, 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 no. I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. She played in a lot of stuff from since a child all the way to now. But anyway,
Raven Simone.
no, 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 no. I don't know why I can't think. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh no,
Anyway,
it's spread.
we'll get to that later. I'll address that a little later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What movie have you seen the most?
What movie have I seen the most? Um, I think it's actually Star Wars.
Which one?
Let me see. Man, Star Wars fans gonna hate me for this, but I think it was actually Star Wars Episode 8, which is kind of like the worst one in the series. But I looked at it. The Wait, no, 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 no. Actually, I'm totally wrong. You know what it is? Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 2. It's the movie. Yeah,
Hey,
I grew up.
that's one of
Rush
my
Hour 2.
favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too, man. I just love Rush
Yeah,
Hour, and I think they're gonna make a new one. So
I really
okay.
hope so. I hope they bring Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan back.
Well, you about to get my next question here. Favorite comedian in a movie?
Ooh, favorite comedian. Favorite comedian in a movie. Um, Dang, I'm drawing a blank. Uh, Dang,
I
I don't
know
think I
because you
got
think of so many
it.
people there. I know how it is. But mine, you just named. So in the movie, I think Chris Tucker played my favorite comedians in the in those comedy movies during that his hot streak of Rush
Mhm.
Hour and Money Talks and Dead Presidents and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I think I got one. Kevin Hart.
Okay. All right. We can
Kevin
go with
Hart.
Kev. We can go with
Yeah.
Kev. No problem. No problem. Okay.
I
Favorite
mean, man's a
director.
hustler. He's everywhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Favorite director. Let's go with that.
Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. We went Pulp Fiction. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go Star Wars or Star Trek.
Star Wars, easy.
Oh, okay. Uh, is Harry Potter overrated?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Favorite cartoon movie?
Ooh, favorite cartoon movie. Let me see. Favorite cartoon movie. Oh, dang. I think I might have to go with. I'm thinking maybe the Simpsons movie.
Mm, okay.
Wait, no, no, wait, no, no, no. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
I never seen that one, so I can't be the judge of that.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
Uh,
so good. It's got like a dope positive message too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to end it there, but the last thing I want to do is I want to ask you one more question.
Hmm.
Okay. So, who would you want a person, actor that has passed away, or director that you would want to interview yourself if you had the chance?
You said alive or has passed.
That I want to go with one that. is let's go alive or as past, either one.
Let's see. Um, I would say I might have to go with either Ava DuVernay or Shonda Rhimes.
Oh, nice.
And the reason why, um, I mean, they're both black women that have overcome odds to get where they are, but they know what to do right now. Like, pretty sure, let's just say you called up Ava DuVernay and you're like, hey, like, what is it I got to do? She'd be like, oh, you got to do this, and this, and do this, and then do this here, and you'll be where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And I don't think Ava DuVernay went to film school either. So
she did.
she she obviously is doing something right.
No, yeah, she's one of my favorite directors too.
Hmm.
She is. I love Ava DuVernay. I watched all of them from the beginning, and I'm glad you said that. One other thing too, I want to ask you: favorite film festival?
So I got a funny answer for that one. So I'm not a big film festival guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to win my first award in film with a film festival called the Crown Point International Film Festival.
Okay,
So right now they're my favorite because they showed me love to my work.
got you, got you.
Yeah,
All right, perfect, man. You know what? This has been really good, and we got to do this again sometime
for
here.
sure.
So, what I
This
want
was
you to do?
I enjoyed this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I want you to do here is shout out your social media. So if people want to get in touch with you, follow you, see your work, whatever they want to do, how can they do that?
So on Facebook, and I think you can search on Instagram, but on Facebook, I'm just myself, Angelo Tate. I'm pretty sure you can go on Instagram, type that in, and find me. But if you want my actual handles for Instagram, you can look me up under Mr. Actor 123. That's MR Actor 123. And I also have a business page under a production company that I've started called Jello Cup Productions,
Hmm.
and that's GELO Cup Productions. And you'll see like a blue cup of Jello that's animated.
I like that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up here because we can do this all night. But uh, we all got our own things going on. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on here, Angelo. And to answer that question that I couldn't answer before is Regina King. So
Okay.
yeah. So again, thank you
And
so much. Yes, thank you.
to 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 answer mine, Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
She's
Wow.
yeah, she's funny, but she's also getting into dramas too.
Okay. I kind of like Kristen a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know a lot of her work, but the Saturday night stuff, Saturday Night Live stuff. Yeah, I can
Hmm.
dig that. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, again, thank you so much for coming on here, dropping your information, giving me the gems, and until we speak again, this is Based on Characters podcast. Follow us on YouTube, and we're gonna be on some more sites very, very soon here, like Instagram, all type of stuff like that. All right,
Thank
see
you for
you.
having me.
All right,
Peace.
thank you.